Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining us this afternoon. My name is Dr. Melissa Spate Vaughn. I'm a member of Boston University's Center on the Ecology of Early Development, or CEED. I will be your moderator for today's session. We acknowledge that this webinar will be recorded and made available on our YouTube channel in the future. This webinar will also be interpreted in Spanish and Russian. If you wish to hear the interpretation, find the globe on the bottom right corner of your screen and select your language of choice. We hope that you find this engagement to be very informative. Following the presentation, you will have the opportunity to ask questions and provide feedback. However, throughout the presentation, please feel free to add your questions to the Q&A box. This webinar is about the experiences of families in Preschool for All, or PFA. Today's speakers are also joining us from CEED. Please welcome Dr. Stephanie Currington, CEED's Executive Director and a professor at Boston University, and Sarah Ahmed, a researcher on the team. They will be sharing some information gathered from PFA families. Now I will hand it over to them.
Thank you, Melissa. As Melissa mentioned, my name is Stephanie Currington. I am CEED's Executive Director. But before we really dive into today's session, I'd like to spend a little time getting to know more about who is in the room today. So please take a moment to introduce yourself in the chat by sharing your first name, your relationship to PFA, and what brought you here today. So feel free to just type in the chat and let us see who is here with us. Now, after you type your name, I'd also like you to do a fun chat activity with me called the waterfall activity. So, okay, I see Amber. Hi, Courtney. Oh, great. It's so nice to see you all here. Thank you for coming. This is going to be our biggest webinar yet. So I hope we'll have really a lot of fun and great conversation. And the first thing to start off our fun is our waterfall activity. So it's a fun way to get to know a little more about each other. So please share something either big or small that you are looking forward to this year. What I want you to do is go ahead and start typing in the chat window, but wait to hit send until we say go. And then we'll get, once I say go, then we'll get a waterfall of responses all at once. So I'll give you a moment to to type, and we'll pause. So type in anything you're looking forward to this year, either big or small. Okay. So let's get ready for our waterfall. So ready, set, go. Oh, I see people doing some traveling. I'm looking forward to the warm weather too, especially being here in Boston. It was really cold today. Blooming flowers. Me too, Kim. Meeting new children. A Japanese head spa experience. I'll have to Google that one and figure out what that is. I want to do that too. It sounds relaxing and fun. Thank you for sharing all of these things with us and just providing a little window into who you are and some things that are interesting to you. We'll have different moments throughout the webinar where you'll get to interact even more. So just stay tuned. So as Melissa mentioned, we're here today from Boston University at CEED, and CEED provides early childhood expertise for children and families living further away from opportunity. We've partnered with the Multnomah County Preschool for All program to evaluate the county's program. Here are the beautiful members of the CEED evaluation team as a point of reference. And I'll let you just take a glance at everybody's beautiful faces. And this is our agenda for today. So we'll begin with an overview of Preschool for All and its CEED partnership, followed by background information about PFA families. Next, we'll discuss the experiences families reported with PFA and how the program is meeting families' needs and expectations. We'll then summarize the key takeaways of our findings And then we will end with time to hear feedback from community members here today during our question and answer panel with Denisa McLean, the new director of the Preschool Early Learning Division. So to give a little bit of a background on PFA for anyone who's unfamiliar, PFA seeks to ensure all 3 and 4-year-old children in Multnomah County have universal access to high-quality preschool programs by 2030, especially those facing the greatest barriers to access preschool. It is a tuition-free program that is developmentally appropriate with a no suspension or expulsion policy, and it's designed to be culturally relevant and equitable. PFA was designed to gradually increase the number of children served so that by 2030, it is available for free to all interested families in Multnomah County. In the first few years, priority is given to families who identify as Black, Indigenous, or people of color, who have low incomes that are 350% of the federal poverty level or less, have children with developmental delays or disabilities, and who speak a primary language other than English. In the chart, you can see the revised goals of the number of seats PFA sought out to provide each year and the number of seats PFA actually provided to families. So over the years, PFA has exceeded their goals. And as a note, in the next calendar year, that's 2026 and 2027, PFA expects to provide over 7,000 seats. One caution that I want to put forward when we talk about our research and our findings today is that the numbers that we present here in this presentation may differ slightly from those shared by the PFA program itself. And this is because in our data, we're using a specific point in time based on a data set that PFA enrollment office provided to us with information. And we are also using a specific point of time in which our surveys were collected. So our surveys that we're going to talk about today were collected in the last year's program year. So now we're going to share some information about the CEED and PFA partnership. There are 3 goals guiding our partnership. So one, we want to identify what works well and what can be improved in PFA to better support children, families, and early childhood educators in Multnomah County. The second goal is to make sure racial equity and cultural responsiveness is a priority in PFA. And lastly, we want to evaluate how PFA is making a difference in early learning and childcare in the local community. To identify these goals, we conducted 24 classroom observations at 13 different preschools in the spring of 2024. Each observation lasted about 15 minutes, and teachers led lessons or activities as usual, either with the whole class or with small groups of children. We also collected data through surveys in the spring of 2025 for 630 families, 308 educators, and 32 preschool site leaders. So now I would love to hand it over to Sarah Ahmed, who will go over the findings from our data collection and analysis.
Thank you, Stephanie. I just want to restate again that the following information we are talking about is based on participants who completed a survey we sent to understand family experiences at PFA. So again, 630 people responded to the survey. 97% of the participants are parents, and each family, a single guardian, completed the survey. We know that 49.5% of people who completed the survey are white, 15.9% are Latinx, 10.3 are Asian, 10.5 are multiracial, and 8.3 of percent of the participants identified as Black, African American, Afro-Caribbean, or African. Here is the educational background of the family members who completed the survey. 3% of respondents have less than a high school diploma, 16% have completed a high school, 27% have some college or a 2-year degree, about 25% have a bachelor's degree, 28% of respondents have a master's degree or higher. Now, PFA is designed to serve families in both low and middle class income households. In 2024, that was classified as 150% below the federal poverty level. About 69% of families fall under this threshold, showing that PFA is reaching the families that it aims to support. Looking at household income, the majority of families come from low to middle class income. So 38% earn less than $50,000 per year. 31% of families earn between 50 to 99,000, and 30% earn over 100,000. Preschool for All prioritizes children from low-income backgrounds and families from historically underserved populations, giving children who might not have the means to attend preschool an opportunity to do so. And this also increases the diversity of children in preschool programs. More on that later. So here is some statewide context to put into reference the out-of-pocket cost of preschool and the financial costs families bear. In 2024, the median annual cost for Oregon toddler care was $20,070. For reference, the median annual tuition at a public university in Oregon in 2024 was $10,500. And in Portland, 67% of minimum wage income goes to toddler care. Here is what one family said about how PFA has helped them. It, PFA, has been great and a total game changer for our family. Despite having a good income, we have twins and couldn't make ends meet with $2,400 per month in preschool costs prior to PFA. The process, the application, and school have been wonderful in helping us apply and receive support. We are truly grateful. So Preschool for All makes preschool free for everyone enrolled, but 40% of families do report needing extra help, meaning they need extra hours of childcare in addition to preschool. Most families are meeting that need by relying on family. So babysitting, families looking after their children, and about 5% of PFA family participants pay less than $500 per month for out-of-pocket extra childcare, like paying for babysitting. So this signals PFA is alleviating the financial strain of childcare for most families. And this is what families say PFA is doing successfully. 89% of families in PFA agree that their child is learning a lot. 96% of families say they feel welcome. 96% say their school respects their cultural heritage. And 94% agree with the statement that their teacher makes their child comfortable. So PFA is successfully making a welcoming atmosphere for families and children. And why is that important? Well, when children's heritage and culture are respected, they are more likely to develop a strong sense of self and respect for others. Children who are treated fairly and feel welcome are more likely to feel safe, confident, and ready to learn. When teachers and families work together, children practice skills at home and school, improving early literacy, math, and social skills. Now, a few slides ago, I mentioned PFA increases diversity in preschool. I'll get back to that, but first I want to hear from you. How do you think diversity impacts child development? Do you think it A, has no impact, B, negatively impacts child development, or C, positively impacts child development? I see a lot of people in the chat voting. That's great too. A lot of people saying C. Okay, hopefully the poll. Okay. So wow, 96% said C, positive impact, and nobody says negative impact, and a few people um, say has no impact. Thank you everyone for answering. Okay, so to answer my own question, how does diversity impact child development? Well, Preschool for All is attracting families from all walks of life to enroll, as we saw in our demographic slides. So how does that impact child's development? It boosts social understanding and empathy. So children in classrooms with peers from different backgrounds are more likely to understand others' thoughts, feelings, which builds empathy and social skills. It encourages deeper understanding and problem solving. Exposure to different perspectives helps children think more flexibly and creatively, improving their ability to solve problems and consider new ideas. Supports positive social interaction and friendship. Diverse classrooms increases the chance that the child forms friendships across backgrounds, which strengthens communication skills, cooperation, and respect for differences. And finally, it prepares children for a diverse world. Early experiences with diversity helps children feel comfortable and confident interacting with a wide range of people, an important skill in today's society. So we asked PFA families what they think is important for their child to learn in preschool to get a sense of whether PFA is meeting those expectations. Overall, social-emotional skills, that communication skill between children, matter most according to families, with 95% of families saying it's very important for their children to learn skills like making friends and getting along with others. It came first, second came academic skills, that were also rated as important. About 70% say it's very important for their children to develop skills like recognizing letters, counting to 20 or more, and 51% say that self-regulation skills, like sitting and paying attention, as important. We then asked PFA families how well their preschool programs is meeting those expectations. For social emotional skills, 90.7 say PFA prepared their child to take turns and share well. With academic skills, 83% of families say their child is well prepared to know their alphabets. 84% say their child is well prepared to count to 20. And with self-regulation skills, 80% say their child is well prepared to sit still and pay attention. The overall synopsis is that families feel that PFA is well preparing their child for the skills they feel are most important. We also asked families what PFA could do better in supporting them, and families responded with the following. Spanish immersion programs, more family support specialists to help families navigate school situations and advocate for children. Dedicated online resources for families transitioning to kindergarten, and extra enrichment classes like soccer and swimming. So, in summary, PFA is helping reduce the financial burden of childcare for families and is successfully fulfilling its mission of prioritizing families from low to middle income backgrounds. The program is also meeting families' expectations and supporting children's academic learning, social development, and self regulation skills. At the same time, families identified one key area where additional support would be helpful: after school care. Many families expressed the need for extended care options, ideally with enrichment opportunities such as clubs or other activities for children, as well as additional resources including more help with preschool to kindergarten transition and a family support specialist.